بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Loud. So Ustadh Tim, so Ustadh means teacher. So Ustadh Tim is with us for the next 10-15 minutes to talk about gardening and the follow-up to what we had before. And I think it's very, very important that we have lessons like this, okay? Because sometimes I think, what has this got to do with the madrasa? Okay? But you've got to understand, it's incredibly important for us to be informed holistically about our faith, okay? And that includes our connection to Allah's creation, okay? And plants and everything around us is Allah's creation. And there's many mentions of this as well. So for example, in hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Ad-dunya hulwatun khadira, wa inna Allah mustakhlifakum fiha," which means indeed this world is sweet and green, and Allah has made you His vicegerent on earth. So what that means is we're supposed to take care of the plants and everything around us. So it's not just the living things that we take care of, also plants which are also living things. So that's why Ustadh Tim is here to talk to us about the follow-up to what we've been doing with the pots that we've been sharing with our friends in the class. So I'll leave it all to Ustadh Tim.
Thank you very much indeed. And yeah, very good to see you again. It's me back again, and thank you for having me. And yeah, I'd just like to echo what was said. I'm very conscious of the really deep culture of gardening in Islam, and I think it is one of our duties to make sure that the world around us, the environment around us, is as green and attractive as we can make it. So here's our little bit. Now, I've noticed instantly that we've got a massive roaring success at the front here, sitting in this pot. Sorry, are you the guardian of the pot for this week? No, whose is this?
Do you wish you were?
Don't know, no, but well done. It's small, but it's beautiful. So I'll be doing something with this in a minute. Do we have any other successes to celebrate from the other class, or have we kind of found it a bit harder going?
Sadly, our plants were taken by this class.
Oh no, they stole them.
Yeah, they did.
That's an outrageous thing to happen. What? Because they're bigger and uglier.
No, they just
They took. Okay. Well, luckily I foresaw that possibility, and I've brought a few other plants in to share with you that you can take as replacements after I've finished. So. I was here in March, wasn't I? And we sowed some seed, and we've obviously got some success, some failures. It's hard growing plants from seed. Let's acknowledge that. You have to be attentive. You have to make sure of the watering. You have to make sure of placing it somewhere not too hot, not too cold, enough light, all those things. And sometimes, with our busy lives, those things go to the back burner, and we're distracted and we fail. I acknowledge that. But one of the things, the reasons I'm here today is it's that time of year, in fact, actually a little bit past that time of year to be ideal, where anything we've grown we want to pot on. We sowed these seeds in very low nutrient compost, not a lot of food. It'd be like, I don't know, you having breakfast, lunch and dinner just of porridge or something like that every day since March. You'd probably be looking a little bit pale and pasty yourself. Quite remarkable that we got a flower out of it already on that diet. But I have brought with you my special mix of compost here, lovingly dug up from my compost heap. It's rich of food. So we're going to just take this example and not only give it richer food, but a slightly bigger pot. This is called potting on, and good time to do it. So all you do is just take it out of the pot. If you were to do this, just note underneath the roots at the bottom. I don't know, you won't be able to see that, but the roots have reached the bottom of the pot. They're crisscrossing a bit. ideal time. They're looking for more soil to grow into, looking for more nutrients, looking for more moisture. So we'll give them that slightly bigger pot. And yeah, I knew I bought my gloves for some reason. So just give them a nice handful of this. Those near the front will know. It doesn't smell. Do you want to smell? No, of course you don't. It doesn't smell, but it is nice and moist, nice and rich, loose mix. Those roots are going to get down and enjoy it even more in this pot. So all we do is fill that most probably 3/4 full. Just plonk that in there. Really important to firm it down, make sure that the roots are very firmly in contact with the new compost. And then, yeah, sorry if it's a bit boring. And then just put a little bit more compost around the top, firm that in, and we've got, hopefully, when we water that in, a reinvigorated marigold. This is a marigold, lovely bright orange. Now, those of you who were super attentive last time I was here and didn't fall asleep may remember why we're doing this, what we're heading towards. Anyone tell me what's the whole, apart from what we just said, the very important bit, which is being respectful of our environment, recognising that it is one of our duties to try and improve our environment. What are we heading towards in this little project? Anyone remember? Deathly silence, tumbleweed moment. I'm going to have to tell you, aren't I? It is the 13th and 14th of July, when all the people who've been growing this, not just Fatima, Elizabeth Cates Academy, but all the people across Walthamstow who have got these little pots on their windowsills, are going to bring them around the corner to the Attlee Terrace, and we're going to display what we've got. So we want them looking at their best for those dates, and that's why we're asking you to take care of them between now and then. So what I'd say with this, who was the last person who touched this pot apart from me? We've got anyone who owns up to it? No one. Someone must have looked after it. Who pulled it in?
That was from the Saturday class.
Oh, this is from Saturday class. All right, so no one here. Okay, all right, fine. Oh, that's okay. It won't break anyone's heart. Because what I was going to say is we want this to look good in July, not necessarily now. It looks good now. So what we do, scandalously, is take this off. Pull it off. It's resisting me because it doesn't want to come. But there you go. Take that. I'm going to give that to you. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that little gift from me to you. Now, I can see another flower forming. Bit of compost on the table. Another flower forming there. And probably what I say is, okay, let that come for a day or two. Enjoy it if you want. But whoever's looking after this next, and it may be the Saturday class, I don't know, maybe one of you, just don't be afraid to take that off. What that does, well, that signals to the plant is, grow more flowers, okay? And we want them later rather than now. So don't be afraid to do that. It doesn't kill the plant. In fact, that will make the plant get bushier and put on more growth, more flowers, particularly with the new compost that it's in. So just a little thing to bear in mind. So I'll leave that with you. That does need a bit of watering in. Did that sit there? Yeah, you don't want anything to do. He's scared of it, this lad. He's terrified of the thing. Right. Okay, so I thought, how many classes have we got? 2 classes here. Neither of you have raised anything from seed successfully. So I'm going to have to put it on you again. I'm going to be trusting you with some of the treasures that I have grown. Okay, so I've got a range here. I've got to save some of them for the other classes, but let me think. Like, the other class at least had one plant that they'd grown. So I'm just thinking, looking at my plants and thinking, which of you am I going to sacrifice to these non-gardeners? This one. Xeranthe, though it looks quite small at the moment, okay, that's about right for the stage it's at. It doesn't get very big. It has been potted on reasonably recently by me, so it should have enough compost to keep it going for a little while. All you need to do is, like we said last time, find a sunny windowsill, or outside, outdoors, outside your front door, back door, wherever you like, that has got sun. And every 3 days, just put your finger on top of the compost. Is it reasonably moist? Can you feel any moisture on your fingers? If so, it's fine. If not, give it some water. Okay, this boy here, he's terrified of me. He keeps looking at me with fear in his eyes, so I'm going to give you this. This is on you for the next week. Okay, look after that. All right, the other class, let's see what you're going to get. Do you remember that flower? Where's that flower? There, that lovely orange flower. This one is called Zinnia Orange King. Produces much bigger flowers, actually even brighter orange flowers than this one. So it's a really nice plant, gets quite big. I'm going to give this to, who's the teacher in charge of this class? Hassan, come out here. He's another plant phobic individual. All right, Hassan, look after that well. Once every 3 days, bit of water, somewhere sunny. That's all you need to do. Don't be scared of the thing. All right. Have we got another class just crept in? Yes. Or is that just for two classes? All right, so I'll give them one to each of you. I'm going to come back in July, and when I come back, I don't want to see that fear in your eyes. I want to see plants that are looking healthy. You can pinch out the flowers if they come a bit early, but have them ready to go. If I come early July, ready to go, looking at their best for the 13th and 14th of July, you can give them to me then and give up your burdensome looking after the plants. Yes, miss?
When should they stop pinching the flowers?
About 2 weeks before the 13th of July. Yeah, end of June. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but it will increase the flower power by doing that. Okay? Anyone, don't be pinching them out, the leaves just for fun. Okay? Only it's the flowers, and I'll tell you why it's the flowers, because the flowers turn into the seed, and the seed the next year's flowers, these are all annuals, they live and die in 1 year. So what you're saying by pinching out the flower is there's not going to be any seed there, and the plant's going, well, I've got to make more flowers to make more seed to carry on. So if you just leave it, if we left that one to go and flower, it'd look really nice, you'd get a lovely display, but maybe by July it'd be like, do you know what, my job's done. I've made loads of flowers, they're turning into seeds, I'll just give up and die now. And we don't want that. Okay, any other questions?
Any questions? Please put your hands up. Any questions? Anything else to do with...
anything else to do with gardening? Turn it into gardener's question time. Yes, madam.
If you plant your own things at home and bring them...
You could, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, if you want to plant your own things at home and bring them in, that would be most welcome. The reason we started back in March is I know how long roughly it takes to get things to grow from seed to looking really good in July, and that was starting in March. But there's no reason why you can't just try. I mean, you could try all sorts of things from seed now. They'd still grow. They'd just flower a little bit later. But that's fine. Yeah, it's actually. I mean, it's good. The thing that is difficult is temperatures. You can't control the rising temperatures at this time of year. We hear a lot about climate change, but that's another matter. But it's getting hotter. July and August are the hottest months, you know. So a lot of things, a lot of seed won't germinate if it's really, really hot. They need it relatively cool to germinate and get going. But it's, you try it. Yeah, why not? Okay, any other questions? Yes. Have you got your hand? Sorry, say it a bit loud. How do you make compost? Well, in this, I garden in a lot of places where there's quite big gardens. And so from pinching out flowers, cutting down grass, foliage, twigs, mowing the lawns, when leaves fall in autumn, all of that stuff, all of that waste stuff that would normally be chucked in the bin, I gather it together in big compost bays, water it, keep it kind of moist, and just leave it for 6 months to a year, just by gathering it all together in a corner or in a bin or in somewhere ideally where it can drain. It's in contact with the soil, but it doesn't dry out too much. That's how you make compost, and that's one of them to me. Because I'm boring like that. That's one of the most exciting things I do, because I know how important that is to growing these. Pitying me too much for being a compost freak. I better go and say thank you very much for having me once again. It's delightful to see you. Look after them plants. You too. I know you. I've got a terrible memory for faces, Hassan, for names, Hassan, but I remember faces. So I'm going to come back next time and I'm going to eyeball you, and you better not have that scared, guilty look in your eyes. All right. Thank you.
See, it's not very